So, Stace, you got all the topics, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah, because I got Facebook up next to it. So yeah, I'm gonna pull them up now.
All right, because
as soon
as we go live, everybody in our group will get a
That's
notification.
Cool.
One.
Yeah, it's cool. I gotta pull them up. Just give me a second, because I just posted John in there that we were coming on.
Yeah, I posted like 5 minutes ago. I said we had live at 8.
All right, here we go. So where we at?
But we don't want to start going into the show until 8 o'clock, though.
No, that's cool.
What's the all right? So because I just wanted, I'm not looking at the joint right now. I know it's several topics. One was the heartbreak. One was the go-to food during the pandemic, and it was 3 more, right?
Yeah. It was
favorite R&B group.
Favorite R&B group and why?
What can you do to
change the neighborhood for the better?
Right.
And have you ever been hurt in a relationship before? And if so, how did you handle it?
And we're gonna do that one last.
Yeah, we're gonna go into that one. I think that should be one of the main ones those days. I like that one. I like that one a lot. But I mean, it's whatever. It's whatever.
All right, baby, we live.
We all night.
We still got 2 more minutes, man.
I'm up here, Nike. I don't see it.
Oh, all right, hold up.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
You gotta make it. Don't forget to make it.
What do you say?
I don't know. He will tell you be mumbling, man.
He just let out a loud grunt or something.
I said Hirsch. I got this.
I don't even know what that means.
He said hush.
Oh, okay.
That's his southern drawl.
Yeah.
He ain't from North no more.
Sound country the other day.
Who?
You did, Nike. I forgot what it was, but you said something. And I was like, yo. Yeah, hold up. Let me see something. All right.
Y'all don't see that, John, yet?
Hold up.
It still says setting it up. Hold up.
Okay, no, there you go.
Yeah, it goes live on Facebook now.
Yeah, I think it just came through.
Cool.
All right.
Word. All right.
All right, y'all can go ahead and.
We
still got one more minute. We still got one more minute.
No, we good. Guy, you good, Ray?
I'm great. I'm ready.
Okay.
We ready? All right,
yeah,
world.
Yeah.
Welcome to RealBrosLive.
What's up, everybody?
Real Brothers for the real world. I'm TL with my man Pooch, my other big dog Stace.
Yo.
And we got my man Guy who's guest hosting today. And we got some real live topics for you today. You gonna hook that up, Stace?
Yep, join in everybody. We're about to get this thing started. We got a couple interesting topics that we're going to talk about today. So please feel free to join in and let us know your opinion. First, we're gonna introduce our guest host, my man Guy Lang right here next to us. Guy, give us the 30-second introduction and let the folks know who you are.
The elevator pitch. That's what's up. All right. So, Guy, I'm around. If you see me, you know me. I invited my folks to come and participate and just, listen out. I'm a criminal justice reformist on steroids type shit. So my viewpoints are pretty radical. And they're based in not only just my personal experience as a Black man growing up in the city of Philadelphia, but they're also based in academics. So my point of view is supported as far as criminal justice goes with a few degrees that I got, an AS, a BA, an MLS, and I'm working on that JD now.
Nice.
And like I said, I have connections in the community. My community is well loved, and I'm well loved by my community. And I'm just, my thing is to support my community and to support you brothers. Like, I've been following you guys. When you launched the podcast, my situation was, you know what, I'm gonna find a way in. And so here I am. Boom.
Yeah, you just picked a hole in the nigga GED, right?
Hey, you still got it though, T. You still got your GED. It's okay.
Hey, it down. All right, good job, man. Welcome aboard, man. Welcome aboard. We're glad you could be here with us, man. Glad you could be here.
So, hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I really do. Like I was telling you earlier, Stace, Pooch, TL, anytime I can support or, amplify your voice, I want to do that. I'm here for that. That's the name of the game.
Good looking. Good looking. All right, we can dive right into it, man. Of course, right now in the news, they're talking about Johnson & Johnson just approved their vaccine, so that's going to be rolling around. But, in regarding this pandemic, one of the questions that that was posed, and we said we put it out there and get everybody's thought that we want to talk about is a little lighter. Is food. You know, last week we talked about what are we doing during this pandemic and how we handling it. This time we want to get a little bit more, I guess, a little more direct and find out about your favorite meal. What is your go-to meal? What is your go-to meal during this pandemic? So, like I said, we welcome everybody to chime in, but to get this thing started, we're gonna start off with our guest host. What do you think, guys? What's up, man? What's your go-to meal right now, man?
Listen, I got three actually. The first one, when the pandemic first kicked off and everybody was shut down in the crib, my main focus was just try to stay healthy. Just, you know what, try to stay healthy, feed my body, just pour into it what's good. You know, make sure I got the proper, you know, nutrients in this system that I got in my castle to fight off, you know, any kind of infection, you know, COVID, the common flu. You know, I'm 49 years old. I ain't trying to go fall down somewhere coughing and ain't getting back up. So the number one joint was my smoothies. I really got into my smoothie bag. I was really heavy on the ginger because, you know, that's got a lot of value in it. And then the second one after that, I found myself every morning when I woke up making an omelet. It was crazy, but I was throwing like mushroom and cheese and peppers and spinach and all kinds of everything. So omelets became my go-to. And then finally, brownies, my little infused brownies.
Brownies?
Really good. Yeah, they do.
Brownies,
like ice cream.
You talking about the happy brownies?
Warm that joint up real nice, a little bit of ice cream. Listen, you killing two birds with one stone.
I got you. Yo, but you said smoothies though. You know, it's funny, man. I started juicing, man, and I'm by no means am I a health nut, but and you said ginger, yo, man. I started juicing. Yeah. And I will say, man, they help, but I use turmeric because, you know, I was reading up on it. They was, you know, you take Tylenol, like you said, we get a little older and you get a little achy. And when I noticed when you take Tylenol, how much it would help. So I started looking up like the active ingredients in Tylenol and what can I do naturally that will help with aches and pains. And ginger and turmeric kept coming up at the top of the list.
Right.
No, the top of the marijuana. Cannabis, top of the list, bro.
Now, does that help with aches though, Mike? I mean,
no, it helps alleviate body aches. It helps alleviate like regular stress, mental stress, body stress.
You mean because you sleep, or you mean there's something like active ingredient?
The active ingredient in it, the THC in it, and the cannabinoids in it.
Mm-hmm.
They work with your bloodstream and everything, man. Like they got chemicals in it that actually help your body relax.
Yo, I might have to try it again, man, because I think you have to.
Seriously,
we gave it a shot, man. Hey, guy.
Yeah.
I tried.
I'm an advocate. I'm for real. I'm in the group down here, like it's a whole thing, man. Like,
I know, man.
But even the CBD that's in it, you know what I mean?
That's why you in that
group. I think
group.
it's corny that they make them separate the CBD from the THC because it all comes from the same plant, and you need all of that in there to get the full effect from it. You know.
So why do they separate the CBD? Is it more dangerous or something, or what is it?
Separate the THC because that's the part that makes that's the part that makes you high. You know what I mean? That's
why do they? But what they're saying is, what is that, guy? I can't see that.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. That if you want to start out, this is where you want to start. Start with a little bit of hemp oil.
Yeah.
And that'll get you going, and then you can start once you start to feel the effects of that, you know what I mean? Then you can really get into it like TL. TL sounds to me to be a connoisseur.
I got hemp oil.
He is.
Real son.
But this is where you want to start. This is a little starter kit for you, Stace. I'll put you on to it.
All right.
Before we move to the next thing, I want to just put you up on one more thing with the smoothies, right? Because we all around the same age, right? I don't believe that we experience any, physical issues, but some men our age experience some
talked about that, right?
I heard you guys talked about it last week. I might have interjected a little bit, but it's the active ingredient in that little blue pill is called citrulline, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You can find citrulline in its highest concentration naturally in yellow watermelon. Right?
Oh wow.
So if you get natural water, if you get a yellow
You gotta eat
watermelon,
a lot of them watermelon.
no,
You
you don't need.
You only gotta take one of them joints,
It's gonna
right?
find out the cells now, guys.
Listen, I ain't gonna
yeah,
front, bro.
baby, what's good? Like,
Yo,
A couple slices
Popping
of
them
that John,
joints.
and you put it in your smoothie, and
Really?
the citrulline kick in, boom.
yo.
So
All right. Them joints
that's
just
just a
gonna
little
find out the
jewel I
cells,
wanna
man.
yeah.
All right.
jewel for my
I
OGs.
stick with the pills, you know what I mean? I'm like Eminem. You know what I'm
Come here, girl. Yeah, come here, girl. Hey, all right, Pooch. What you got, Pooch? What's your go-to, man?
Well, it ain't pills, that's for sure.
Is it watermelons?
No, it ain't the yellow watermelon. Yeah, I thought we talking about food. Y'all done went in a whole different direction with that.
Yo, it's cool. It's cool.
Nah, I mean my go-to lately has been I've been making a lot of different meals with chicken, like chicken
like
breast.
fried chicken? I mean, you
No,
like,
I don't do fried. I can't do fried chicken.
Oh, I'm about to say that's regular food for us, you know. But what you talking about, Pooch?
Nah, like
chicken.
I've been doing a lot of like Alfredo, chicken Alfredo. Actually, you know what I made the other day? I had some salmon with some scallops, pan-seared scallops. Yo, that's been my go-to.
Though? Is that your
Well, I've been trying to do the seafood more.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean, so that's what I've been on that seafood kick, like, you know, trying to just get away from the red meats and all that stuff, man.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to eat a little lighter in terms of like the different meals, the meats that I have. So I've definitely been up on the salmon. But yeah, that's definitely one of my go-tos, the chicken Alfredo. That's and I make the homemade Alfredo sauce. I don't buy the stuff in the jar.
Wait a minute, you make homemade sauce, Pooch?
Yeah. All you need depends on what you like. Some people do like the heavy cream.
Yeah.
I don't do the heavy cream because the cream adds a lot of fat. But what I do is I already got the cream cheese. I got the Philly cream cheese, right? I melt that down, some butter, some garlic powder or garlic, you know, what's up, whatever you want to do, straight garlic, you do garlic powder. Man, let that melt down, let it get thick.
Yo, that's not
Roll your pasta in it. That's a wrap,
That sound
man.
like a heart attack waiting to happen though.
You say butter? Yeah, 'cause you got to stick a butter in that mother, don't you?
Cream cheese.
Butter.
Like
Yeah.
you about to,
No, you don't
right there, man.
No, you do a little bit of, you do like a half a thing of cream cheese, some little bit of butter, let it melt down, some garlic powder, and then that's all you need. Those 3 simple ingredients.
Yo, my go-to joint is this Mediterranean. I mean, this
See what happened to guy?
Dominican joint around the corner. They the only one that order around here. Them Domino's like that, but they got some good food, man.
So you not cooking it, you mean you ordering?
Well, you know, I'm like a hermit, so I don't really go out the house if I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got this spot down here, man. They be having everything, man. It's like a Mediterranean type of joint. She be cooking like red snappers, like the whole fish with the head and everything.
Oh yeah. Stuff with vegetables and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's like Jamaican style, isn't it?
That's more Caribbean than Mediterranean.
She Dominican. It's a good Dominican.
Well, it's Caribbean.
What you like a Chinese lady cooking Jamaican food? I mean, what?
No, she ain't Chinese. No, she Dominican. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You did just say that, Steve. You did just say that.
No, I missed it. Yo, but
she can cook, man. For real.
You know what though? I realized something, man, and I never saw this coming, but it's like the older I get, and tell me if y'all agree with this or not. The older I get, it's like the more I appreciate cooking. I mean, and listening to the three now, Terry, went a different direction, basically ordered out. But Pooch and Guy, the things that we talk about, you talking about using the kitchen as a laboratory, like you gotta prep that and the whole nine. Do you notice that though? As we get older, are you all getting more into cooking yourselves and that kind of stuff?
No, I've been burning for a minute.
Well, I gotta say, I know with me, as far as me, and this is gonna go back into that next topic. It might even be a segue, but once I became single, right? I was forced to cook for myself and my children, and so that just morphed. And not to mention, I was like on a border with high cholesterol, so I had to change my diet, and so I would never, because once you go on cholesterol pills,
That's right. That's it. That's for life. That's right.
Never required to intake that kind of put anything like that in my body on a regular basis that my body would depend on. So that was the change for me, and that's why I think I'm a little bit more health conscious when it comes to food. And yo, I want to say, what's up, Poochie? How you doing, sweetie?
You talking about this Poochie?
I'm like,
I'm doing good.
I didn't know how to respond to that. I'm like, huh?
I'm doing good.
I'm like, oh, we just met, guy. Brother got to get dinner or something first.
I went too far. I went too far.
Oh, first show, you already bombing.
That nigga stupid.
Oh man. I'm like,
no, that's
whoa.
one of the guests, one of your guests. Her name is Poochie, and she was saying what's up. I just want to shout her out.
Okay, well, for purposes of not getting confused again, let's go with Anthony on this one.
all right.
No, that's good money, man.
So I'm looking at some of the comments, Stace. Like we got Patricia Stevens, our old teacher, high school teacher. She said broiled salmon and roasted Brussels sprouts, which I love. I love roasted Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
You know, let's see what else we got going on here.
No, but while you look at that, then is this pandemic the fact that we're now, and I think I have my opinion on what I think is going to happen with it. So do you think that this is going to cause us to spend more time cooking at home and preparing foods more for ourselves, and even as God said, eating a little more healthily, if that's a word? I mean, that's not a word. You sure, man?
Hey, yo, with me having 5 kids, man, I had to cook for a minute. I've been cooking for a long time, so I can burn, son. Man. Yeah,
well, I'm like you, T. I mean, we grew up in a time when my mom had all boys. So she taught me and my brothers at an early age how to cook. Started off with scrambling eggs, and then it graduated to other things. Like T, man, I've been cooking so long, man, I forgot what it feel like not to cook.
Right.
See,
my mom was kind of like that, but more like she ain't give a shit. Like, nigga, you better make yourself something to eat.
Put up the noodles, right?
Yeah, how about that? The older you get, the more they tell you do it yourself.
Yeah.
All right, now, Guy, you said there's something you mentioned. You said was a segue. What was it? Where were we? Because I'm looking at the joint.
It was a segue into it was moving from the food into the breakup deal, because part of the reason I was cooking for myself all these years is because I had broken up the lady I was with 24 years ago, 23 years ago. We broke up. I've been cooking for myself ever since.
Damn. Man. Oh, okay. Oh, so
it ain't a bad thing, bro. Don't look at me like that. I'm all right.
Stay still not make nothing but oodles and noodles, man.
As I said, man, the older I get, man, I enjoy cooking. I never thought I would. My mom's from the South. She's from North Carolina. So she cooked. She was a soul food cooker. And when we had the spot, I started out kind of, I guess, almost like her sidekick. Peel this, chef that, warm this up. So I started out that way. And of course, the more you're around it, you pick up little things here and there. And then when she moved to Florida, me and my baby, Stephanie, we had to go for it. And I never turned back since then. And now I love it. Never thought I would, but I really enjoy it.
Well, cooking is therapeutic, man. Like whenever you stressing out over all day long. Like I used to love to watch the Rachel Ray 30-minute meals. Like that to me kind of got me back into cooking for a while. Once I got married, I was kind of like, my wife can handle that. But then, she was working overnight. So I was like, well, these kids got to eat. So I started getting back into cooking. So I started watching the 30-minute meals. So I learned a lot about how to prepare meals on the go. Because, I'm coming home from work and it's already almost 6 and the kids ain't got nothing on the stove. So you got to start working within those parameters. And it's therapeutic, man. I used to calm down from a hard day work by just going in the kitchen, cooking, got a pot in one hand and my baby boy with my other hand, and I'm
female out this joint.
Hey, man.
Go home to work.
Hey. That's how it is some days.
With a baby on.
Role reversal, man. Role reversal.
I was about to say, he's kind of dispelled one of those myths, man. That everybody talk about what men don't do. It sound like we all cook, huh?
They don't give it to us. We don't get no credit.
Yeah, I mean, and everybody talking about cooking. Man.
That should be a topic. How some bomb ass dads don't get credit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if they do shit they ain't supposed to do, if they don't Only time you hear somebody say something about a black dad is when he ain't doing what he's
He's
supposed
not
to
doing
do.
anything. Yeah, that's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's right.
Jay
Well,
said heating up food ain't cooking, so yeah. Can't be out there with a microwave and talking about you cooking. Unless it's
Right,
leftovers.
qualified.
Unless it's leftovers, Jay. If it's leftovers, it's okay.
Yeah, all right. Somebody, Keisha asked to join in. Wait a minute. I'm at a loss. But anyway, yo. So all right, guy. You was with the young lady 24 years ago.
Yeah,
I broke up.
right.
How did it affect you, and how did you handle it?
Okay, so how it affected me? Well, now mind you, you're talking 24 years ago, 23, 24 years ago. So I was in my early 20s. In your early 20s, and not to mention I had just came home from the Marine Corps. I had just got out of the service, right?
Wow.
So I was in decent shape. I was about 190 pounds. I was 5'8". I was built like a little tank, and I was running around just touching anything and everything that would let me touch. And I felt like at the time, any woman that slept with any man other than me, it was something wrong with him. So I was arrogant. Imagine how arrogant and cocky I was. So when this lady, my fiance at the time, told me to kick rocks and beat it, I was sick. So what I did, it happened. It was instant. I was sick. I couldn't believe that it happened. So
You didn't see it coming?
say what?
Did you see it coming, or did you ignore the signs?
I should have seen it coming. I was an imbecile. I should have seen it coming with all the foolishness I was doing out there. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And at the time, I didn't prescribe to that philosophy. I do now, but at the time there was no way I could. So what I did was, I went into my bedroom. I got my blanket because it still had her scent on it. I closed my couch. I closed my blinds. I closed my door. And I stayed in my
He was like boomerang, huh? He was like, I might be a boomerang.
The only thing I did not do was suck my thumb. Like I was curled up on that joint. I was for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. I'm gonna tell you this. Once the smell went off of the blanket and that was no longer there, I got up, I was gone. So it was about a 2-week process. I sat and I sulked and I had a little pity party and all that, and woe is me and everything. And then
How long were y'all together though? How long were you together?
about 6, 7 years.
Wow. So you went through it.
I was sick for 2 weeks.
Wow, man. I mean,
That's because she put a root on you, man. She put a little
man.
voodoo.
No, I'm gonna tell
Put a
you
little
what.
voodoo in you.
I think it's true that you really get, a couple situations in your life, and that was the situation. That was my situation, and
wow.
at the time,
she broke the pit bull out in that nigga. He he like, where's she?
Well, he did say with a blanket. He said with a blanket.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? I want to address something real quick because it's a question Jay Smith asked. He said, "Where is this going?" And this is in harmony with what we was talking about. One of the questions and about have you ever,
Had a breakup.
had a breakup in a relationship, and how did you handle it? So, Jay, Guy's giving us a little bit about how he handled his. I guess that was probably your most. Would you say that was probably your most severe breakup?
I never had no other breakup. That's the only breakup I ever had.
Okay. All
Wow.
right.
All right.
I've been a bachelor ever since.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you,
All right.
man. Good for you.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yo, Jay, calm down. Don't want to get you in trouble, dog.
He must have. Well, I had that. Yes, that was. All right. What's up, man? What you think, man? What are your thoughts?
Me? Did you say Pooch? Oh, I thought we was gonna go with Anthony from, but it's cool. Nah, with me, I've had several breakups, man. Probably the most hardest was I know, right before I met my wife, I was dating this young woman who we unfortunately couldn't get along outside of the bedroom. Like we worked together and we lived together. So at work, it was like, work. So, you see each other, and we worked in a call center. So it was like really hard to kind of get away from each other and have their own space. But at home, we would, chill and try to, act like a normal couple. But after a while, it got to be toxic.
Mm.
And I mean, I wouldn't say I was deeply in love with her. I liked her a lot. And I cared about her, but we just couldn't get along outside of the bedroom. And
So you saying all you really had was like a strong sex life?
no, well, put it like this. Whatever that implies, yeah, that's what what I'm saying about outside the bedroom. I didn't know how much I liked her until I found out. Okay, so what happened was she went back home because she wasn't from the States, and she went home for like 2 weeks. Her grandmother passed, and so I was at the apartment. And when she came back, I had probably moved, like left. I left and went down my mom's for a few days. So when she came back, she called and told me I was back home, and she was back home, and whatever. So I went to go see her. Yo, like I think I waited like a few days, and then by the third day I went to go see her, she had packed up everything and moved back overseas. I was so hurt because I never got the closure. I never got the closure. And that's what I was missing, was that
I've
closure.
heard people say that though, closure. I mean,
Oh man,
what is that? Just seeing it for the last time? Is that what the conversation?
Yeah, whatever that is, it's like you just have to say your piece. And like the way she left, it was like, man, we couldn't work this out. Like we couldn't talk about it. We couldn't sit down and be mature enough and get along enough to say, hey, even if it wasn't gonna work, just say this is how I feel. And like she denied me that, and I felt an emptiness and a void that honestly I took into my marriage. And it took me like 5 years of being married before I actually told my wife why I was the way I was. And because she was like, you seem so emotionally distant. And I was like, yeah, because, and then I realized I had that epiphany where you just be like, aha, I know what it is.
Aha.
And then aha. So it hit me. And I was like, man, I'm like, and I had to really answer some tough questions about why I was going through what I was going through. So, I mean, long story short, that was probably the toughest relationship in terms of a breakup. But obviously the longest relationship I had is with my wife now. We've been together for almost 24 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So Guy, Pooh said that what bothered him was the fact that he didn't feel like he got closure. Did you get that? I mean, did that mean anything to you, or was it the fact that you guys had been together for a little while, and if you said you should have saw it coming, she was probably giving you hints that, all right, it's not going right. Did you feel that? Did you feel like you got closure, or I mean?
No, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, there were two relationships that I was in. That one, I did get closure.
I don't want to mess you up. I mean, don't.
No. Listen, I learned my lesson after that. I got closure at that point. She told me, listen, Guy, I want to move on with my life, and without you. And I was like, oh shit. So that was really point blank period. Another woman told me that same thing. Fast forward 15, 16 years, whatever it was. I don't know. But at that point, I realized I didn't need closure. When that next person told me that she wanted to move on, all I had to hear was that you didn't want me. That's all I need to know. You don't want me? Boom. I don't need to know why. I don't need an explanation. I don't need anything other than you don't want me. That's it. I don't need to know more.
Is that, you know what I wonder too, and Nike, I want you to chime in on this too, man. I wonder if that's what happened to us, as men. If after you have the one that's traumatic, the next one, the ego kicks in. So now it's like
everybody, you like roar out the joint. You know what I mean? After that first one,
what you say, Nike?
First one, you like you don't really give a shit. Like you like you're not trusting it. Like
right.
You done built up a callus on your heart. Like you know what I'm saying? So
is that a good thing? I mean, is that a good thing? Because I think, unfortunately, I think I might fall into that category. It's like, all right,
I know for sure. I mean, like the first person that I ever was like in love with, I really thought that I was going to eventually end up with her. You know what I'm saying? And
oh shit.
Yeah, like no, it was a bad situation. I can't go into the details because she might even be on this, John. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying,
What about them?
No, but I thought it was gonna be that. I thought it was gonna be that, and then something happened. It was my fault totally, and she, you know what I mean? She was a good girl, everything, it was my fault, and I had to tell her some crazy, like it was a whole thing, man.
Yeah.
Like my first son, he came to my graduation, so
Yeah.
kind
Yeah.
of,
Right. I got you.
you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Like,
so maybe does that answer the question in the second part of the question? How do you handle it? It sounds like men,
I heard about that now, man.
huh?
I heard about that now.
Oh, you ain't gonna cry, you man. Jay said
No,
no
I'm just
crying.
saying, no. I mean, like
It's okay to
that.
cry. You amongst brothers.
No, I'm just saying
Oh,
that.
T,
That
me give you a hug, T.
that meant,
There you go, bro.
damn, why you want to be hugging on niggas and everything, Poochie?
No, but I'm saying,
Damn, Miss Poochie. All
No,
right,
that's for somebody else.
but no, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, that was it was kind of like a devastating moment for me. And then after that, well, you know how it was after that.
yeah, I mean, so unfortunately, it sounds like what men do, as I think, and actually, like as you said, we build up a callus, and anything after that, it's like, all right. I mean, I think about what God said. All I needed to hear was, I don't want you, and then it's like, I'll forget you like I never knew you.
Well, hold up, Stace, but the backtrack that a little bit. You talk about men develop calluses towards being hurt. I think that is true because that's just how we are brought up as men. But I think also what it is more than anything is it's not that we build up calluses on purpose. We just don't know how to deal with that kind of hurt in the proper aspect. Like T said, he's still hurting now, right? So the thing for me was
I've never told anybody that either. Like,
and then we appreciate you sharing that live, you know what I mean? Because that's deep, you know what I mean? Like, and I think more men need to do that.
Right.
More men need to talk about their feelings instead of hiding it. Like, put it like this, right? My mom used to say, why would you go to your friends for advice when they don't know nothing either? So,
right.
So like when what men tend to do is we go to other men and talk about stuff. And it's like, well, hold on, why you going to him? He don't know nothing. You should talk to somebody like a therapist about your feelings, man. I believe in therapy, bro. Trust me, I've been there. I think it's helpful. I ain't talking about psychiatrists. I said therapist.
Right.
Somebody that you can talk to about what's going on in your life and get that anger and that hurt out of you. Because if you don't, you're going to take that into your next relationship and you won't be good for any woman.
I was fortunate enough though to meet Venus, and that was a game changer. Like, you know what I mean? But before that, before that, it was a whole different. You know what
I mean, but I don't know if, and don't get me wrong, I'm all with therapy. Talk to professionals, but I think sometimes it's just a matter of talking, because sometimes you could talk to your homie, and because I think if you're around some people that think, they're gonna say things that and be truthful with you. Because I think a lot of times, think about what God said. He should have saw it coming, but he was in his own ego, so he basically ignored it. Had you been talking to somebody the whole time, would the homie of yours guy been saying, yo, man, why you run a buck wild, you gonna lose her? You see what I'm saying? So I don't think there's anything wrong with talking. I think it's a matter of just talking, period.
But hold up, Stace. But what happens
if
you don't get any
you ain't give yours yet?
Hold up. Let me I'm gonna ask you some questions now, Stace.
I'm listening.
All right. First of all, tell us about your experience, and then what happens if you don't have warning?
If you don't have warning?
What if your woman don't give you the warning signs? What if she just be like, "I'm out," and you don't even know why?
I mean, can that happen though? Can
Oh yeah, there's some emotionally distant people out there, man. Men and women.
If put it this way, a woman that cares about you, if y'all truly have something, can she just turn it off and you never see it coming unless you just weren't paying attention? I mean, I'm talking about, somebody that you have something with, can they just turn it off and walk away and one day just wake up like I'm out and you not see it coming? I mean,
Well, answer our question first about your relationship, because we're gonna take you from behind the mic now and you become one of us.
It was one time, and I was a young boy, and you know what? You know what I did? Put it this way, I had a summer job, so we going back a long time ago, And I went through it. I was salty. I was hurt.
What happened? You ain't telling us what happened.
Yeah, you ain't telling us.
Being real vague.
Well, I guess
No, I'm
like
telling you.
I couldn't tell you the details of mine because it's kind of personal. I get like, you know what I mean? But
No, but
He talking about he was a teenager. He ain't personal when
Who?
you're a teenager no more.
no. I'm gonna tell you what happened. I pulled myself together, and you know what I said to myself? I said that would never happen again.
But what happened, Stace? Come on, man. Come on, bro. Let it out.
Yo, Pooch. All right, you know what? I'm gonna go with Terry said. That's what I got. I'm telling you what happened. And I said, you know what? That will never happen again. So
right.
the
yo,
reason
if I could go back in time,
would you say, Dyke?
if I could go back in time, it's a lot of man. Is like sometimes you just want to like a redo. I ain't saying like I ain't happy with how my shit turned out.
Yeah.
I would like to have seen how that would have went. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I don't know about that, but I'll say it's never too late to apologize. I mean, if you did some crazy stuff, though,
No, we good. We good. Like,
Okay,
I mean, like, but it, like, I'm still affected by it, kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, now I think that's life. We are a combination of all of our experiences. That's called growth. You know what I mean? We go through things and we carry that stuff with us. We don't forget it. You grow from it. I mean, actually, that's the hope that you'll experience something and move forward from there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Did you want to say something, man?
I think I was saying, as far as going when Pooch was mentioning, how do we move on or move past it, and not necessarily, that I was reading one of the comments from somebody, and they mentioned that closure is necessary. And my thing is, okay, I'm gonna equate this to maybe your employer, right? You walk into your place of employment, they tap you on the shoulder. Listen, man, kick rocks, beat it. We don't need you around here no more. You leave. You're not going back knocking on the door because you need them to tell you why. You don't need them to explain what the situation was. Me personally, not everybody. I'm just saying me personally. When it comes to ending something, my focus at that point is more so to be able to move on to whatever next or whatever is coming for me. Because I'm not going to make time to focus on the fact that this person doesn't believe that I meet their expectations. I really don't care at that point. At that point, it's like, whatever.
Unfortunately, God, I think that's me, man. And it's and you know what? And maybe that's unfortunate. Maybe that's not a good thing, because that means that the fact that we could turn it off like that and say, I mean, and to address the analogy that you use, the employer. It's not going to happen that you're going to get fired and they're not going to give you a reason. You're going to know whether it's downsizing, you're not performing the right way. Something's going to happen for you to have the opportunity to have an idea or to see it coming. I mean, in this day and age. But that's why, as it relates to relationships, like I said, unless you're just totally aloof, I think that you're going to see something click and kind of, we might deny it, or we might not address it, or we might act as if we don't see it, but the thought that a woman is going to be able to just turn the switch and say, I want you out of my life, overnight, I just don't know. I don't know about that. But
well, I say
your shit all on the lawn.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's
a good sign right there.
I mean, that could happen, but I don't know, man. Go ahead, Pooch. What you can't say, man?
Well, no, I was just looking at some of the comments because, I want to make sure we address the comments as well. Linda Kanye says some men believe we talk too much. So what's the point of talking when we're trying to be out?
So wait a minute. Some men what?
Some women think that men talk too much. I mean, some women think that the men in their lives think they talk too much. The women
talk too much. Okay.
So what's the point of saying something they out? And I can go with that, because there are some men who will complain about their women. And then Wayne said y'all could have had this conversation on the steps of Mansion drinking some 2020 Mad Dog. Yeah, we could have.
And we
but
probably
we're doing
have
it now. And then Shai said, women do that as well. I think it's a people thing. Sex is powerful. You know, all these things are good to talk about because it helps bridge the gap between men and women in our thinking and
Right.
how we handle situations.
Right.
So it all can be healthy conversation, and that kind of segues into the next question, which is, what was your favorite R&B group growing up? Well, I'm gonna tell you why it's a good segue because growing up, you know, I was like into like a lot of love songs and breakup songs. So that's why it was a good segue for me because of the type of songs that I used to listen to.
All right.
And so, you know.
All right. I'm gonna go first on this one. Cause I'm about to lay it down, and once I say mine, I know all y'all gonna say. I don't need nothing else to say. Cause Stage broke it to the point that it can't be broken no more. And actually, y'all kind of touched on it when we first started, and I'm glad y'all didn't dig into it anymore. I gotta go with God, man.
God, you mean okay? All right. What's your favorite song from God though?
Well, you know what? See what they had so much.
I missed it. God was singing.
You said what?
No,
not me.
Teddy Riley, God, man.
See, hey, God, man, it's that THC, man. That's
Yeah, he's stuck on. He's stuck right now. Look at him. He's
All
stuck.
right, yeah, I got you. All right.
No, not Guy Lane. I'm talking about the group guy.
All right. Be
Jam.
specific, nigga. Be specific.
Oh,
I thought he was being specific when he said God was his favorite group.
Yeah, God, man. But the reason why I say that is the impact that Ted Riley and that group had on music. I think that they were the bridge between the harmonizing, the 80s group, the Whispers, and all of them. They were the bridge between the Isley Brothers and all of them to the 90s. Because basically they were an R&B group singing almost over hip hop beats. I think that they ushered in a new sound and the impact that they had on music with that New Jack Swing, groove. We still feeling the effects of that now. So my group is Guy.
No doubt.
And the groups that came from that, you talking about Blackstreet, you talking about who? We say Guy?
Teddy Riley.
Ted
Oh,
Riley.
don't forget, he produced Heavy D. He did
Records
Bobby
in
Brown
Effect.
stuff.
Yeah.
He did
He did Janet Jackson. Remember he did the Dangerous album?
yeah.
Jackson, you know, so
Teddy Riley was definitely ahead of his time, man.
He was.
heavy hitter. And like I said, and I think that sound, as far as the up tempo, that type of groove, somebody singing about over that type of groove, we're still seeing that now. That's like what's the new boy name, the young boy? I forget his name, but we're still feeling the effects of that now. Who's next?
I go.
Go ahead, Guy. Go ahead, Guy. We ain't heard
Go
from you in a
ahead,
minute.
I was gonna say Soul to Soul.
Whoa.
Okay.
That was
Back to life.
yeah, like they got me through a lot of shit in my day, right? They came out with some inspirational joints. How Do You Want It? Back to Life. They really kicked off. I mean, and they only had a couple albums. They wasn't really, but the impact they had on me, that was my favorite group, Soul to Soul. Karen.
I mean, so really, it was that they spoke to you. Then it was the music that they were putting out spoke to you.
It spoke to my soul. Like I said, that was back during that time when I needed to get through something. So yeah, Soul to Soul, that was a group that really spoke to my soul. That was a group that this is probably my favorite R&B group. But when you talk to individuals, it's a whole different thing. But group,
Right. Yeah.
Soul to Soul and 112.
Oh, okay.
That's
a good one.
That's a good one.
They had at least 2 really good albums.
Yeah,
I don't know about the third one, but they had at least their first 2 albums was fire.
Oh, 112 was nice.
Yeah.
And not to mention they features on other people's works too. Mary J. Blige, Biggie, Craig Mack. Like they really got featured on a lot of different.
Yeah, they definitely was hot.
Different era though.
No, my favorite group is the New Edition.
Oh,
New Edition and the Temptations, because the Temptations is New Edition before New Edition was a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Eddie Ruffin was that word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the Temptations became the Whispers. I mean, but we don't have
no the Temptations. I'm saying like the Temptations is New Edition before New Edition existed. Like, you know what I'm saying? New Edition is a copy of the Temptations.
Oh, well, see, but I think before, but I think that before, I mean, that's a large span of years. The Temptations to New Edition. I think in between that, you had the Whispers. The Whispers was that
The Whispers.
group.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of went from, you know,
They had
and
some
actually,
bangers. They had some bangers, but they weren't my favorite joints, though. We talking about my favorite joint.
Oh my,
He just gonna try to change your whole
Yeah,
favorite.
he trying to change my joints. No.
hey, like, I think you should have said the Whispers. You know? All right, who you at? Who you at?
Well, I mean, all right. So T took one of mine. I love this new NE, but I'm gonna go a whole different route on this one. I'm gonna take the ladies on this one. My favorite group of one of my favorite groups, period, was In Vogue. Loved In Vogue. It broke my heart when they broke up, man, because I thought they could have been the biggest female group ever had they just stayed together.
Soft, man. God.
Hey, man, look, nigga, you stay with something in your mouth smoking. I don't say that. Let me do me. But like that, to me, if you think about In Vogue and what they introduced people to with the harmonies,
Which is
that new funky sound that they came out with, you know what I mean? Like one of the biggest hits of the 90s was Hold On.
Mhm.
I mean, like that's still popular today. Like you in a party, they start playing that, the women get up, oh, that's my jam. Oh, you know what I mean? Everybody start kicking it. I mean, that's one of my favorite groups of all time, In Vogue.
Because of the harmony. Yeah,
Well, you know, the fact they was nice looking girls too, but the harmonies, the way the style, like that Funky Divas album, that was my shot, man. I mean, I know it's not popular for a guy to pick a girl group, but I don't care what people think. That was one of my favorite groups, man.
All right, man.
It's all right. It is, but you know, whatever. You know me.
That nigga could have went with the OJs. He could have went with the
Hey, look, I like what I like, man. You know what I mean? I like what I like.
If it was a bunch of standing around, and not on the podcast, he wouldn't say it In Vogue. Is that what you said? You faking it?
Nah, I'm gonna roll out with that, but I'm gonna keep that one in my hip pocket. Hey, look, man, y'all know me. Y'all know me for over 40 years, man. Y'all know I love me some ladies when it comes to the R&B. Y'all know that.
I gotta admit, man, I can see you in New Edition. I thought that's where you were going.
Well, T went there, so I ain't want to.
I heard you say that you were a fan of Dawn. I mean, like you said, they were easy on the eyes.
Well, it was New Edition and In Vogue. That was always my two favorite groups growing up because I love New Edition because they were our generation's Temptations. You know what I mean? And In Vogue, they come along when I was just getting out the Army and I was just starting to, get into my grown man, my grown and sexy man. So that was like a lot of the music I identified with.
You got dressed, getting ready for the club, listen to Hold On.
There you go.
Like, I'm gonna kill him in the club tonight. Hold on.
Hey, man, look. Don't knock it.
I know that. I mean, you listen to him.
That nigga had his sequence and his rhinestones. He's like, I'm gonna murder these bitches at the club tonight.
Hey, man. Hey.
Whoa. It was never no rhinestones, okay? Look, I'm just telling you that was one of my favorite groups. I ain't say it was my favorite. I ain't say I was in the mirror talking with a brush talking about hold on. I'm just telling you it's one of my favorite groups, man. Why y'all trying to clown my favorite groups?
I bang with them, Pooch. I think that was hot.
You feel me, guy?
You feel me? With you on that.
I'm not saying that they weren't big, but I never, of all these years of knowing Pooch, though, I never heard him express any liking. When we start talking about our favorite music and stuff, he never mentioned any music by In Vogue.
Yeah, like I'm gonna bring that up around the homies.
Coming out now, Pooch.
Hey guy, like I'm gonna we in a car full of homies. I'm gonna be like, yo, put that In Vogue on. Yo, bang that hold on, man. You better put what a man on.
Right.
We ain't doing that.
How you see?
Yo, hold
I
up. We
thought
got to
you was
address some
gonna
of
go
these
with
comments, Steve.
Jodeci. Yeah, my man.
We got to address some of these
I said
comments. So,
Jodeci. Damn, man.
oh yeah, Jodeci. I'm hearing mint condition.
Kindred.
Mint condition.
Yeah.
Yo, hey Wayne, I'm with you on that mint condition. Jay said ready for the world.
Now I
And
wasn't
you know
Run
No.
DMC,
you was
that
down
was
with
a
old
group.
Sheila.
Nah,
back
I
in the
wasn't.
day.
Now ready for the world. They had like 2 songs, but I was never a big fan of theirs. Man, I thought they were kind of whiny, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, but they had one of my favorite songs for them was Digital Display. I ain't gonna tell you why, but I used to love that song. My
I
man
remember the song.
Jay, he said New Edition as well. Linda said Ready for the World. See, the ladies love Ready for the World. They love that Jerry curl.
Yo,
Look
the
back in
bars
the
was
day.
that work too. For
The
real,
bars was definitely that work.
Now the bars is different.
Yeah.
The bars is different because they were just so tight. You know, the bars was,
Jackson 5.
damn, Nike was, oh yeah, I guess.
Oh, they going back to the early 70s
Just
team.
saying, man.
James Brown. I mean,
You got Cam Calloway.
James, baby, Etta James.
Cam
You
Calloway.
About Killer
You know
Group.
what they talking about? Sam Cooke and all these cats. I'm like, come on,
Yo,
you trying to
it's
stay in the
better
80s and above, man.
All right.
Maybe the
in
70s.
Vogue, nigga. Like you could have said literally anybody.
Hey man, look.
Now,
I came up with. You came up with who you came up with.
all right.
No,
All right.
Drew Hill. Oh, one
It was
last,
a good group, though.
one last. Nicole Myers Dowling said Drew Hill. So your wife tell you she like Drew Hill stay.
Oh no, yeah, I know. I was
That work too.
you know.
Yeah, Drew Hill nice.
Tell me, that's what they
Yeah,
did.
Yeah, tell me what you want.
Drew Hill was the next incarnation of Jodeci.
Yeah, they well a little too much because they were sounding the boy
Cisco.
He sounded too much like the boy KC.
Yo, but they were
It was
not
really talented group. Could sing.
Yeah, they had some bangers.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I'm trying to find the list. What's the next question, man?
All right.
What was the next one? What was it? Oh, okay, I know what it was. All right. So
Wait, back to the Drew Hill though. That incomplete, John.
that was the whole album.
Yeah. But that wasn't Drew Hill. That was just Cisco by himself.
Right. But that was
That had a going back to that other topic. That had a special.
You got you know what?
That had a special.
All right, before I'll say
That John hit me.
I was into my music, so it would have been enough for me to turn off all the lights. We all had CD players. You program your CD players with like a couple hours worth of music, and you sit back and you listen to it. Now that was me. You know.
My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you though. Go ahead.
That's cool, Nike. All right, I got it. So we gonna start with you this time, Nike.
What?
I know what you was doing. All right. So the question is, what can you do to improve your neighborhood? You know, what can you do personally to improve your neighborhood?
Probably move.
They get up out.
Yeah, get out.
I live around a whole bunch of.
What you mean, Nike?
I live around a whole bunch of white folks, so you know, what I mean, like,
Damn.
like, you know what I mean, but no, it's cool around, you know what I mean.
Tell me, but why would you moving out improve the neighborhood? You know, what you cooking on it? You cook. You got couches on.
That was a joke, man. It was a joke.
You got couches on your porch.
But for real,
You got a car that's dry. You got a car that's on the
Car on
yard. On bricks. No tires on the joint.
no. Y'all been to my shit.
What?
Yo,
So what
but
you
I'm
saying?
saying though, no, I mean, you know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard being it's only a few of us brothers around this joint. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes it's like it get a little uncomfortable. Not
Really?
uncomfortable, like just your perception. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when that Trump shit was here.
Right.
You know what I mean? It wasn't them. It was pretty much me because I was waiting for somebody to say something.
Right. Yeah.
Say something out the way so I can go in their mouth. But you know, on the defensive already before, you know what I'm saying? So
But you know what though? But on that note though, we do. My mother said something to me about that recently, because someone said something to me, and I was talking to her, and I told her somebody said something to me, nothing crazy, but it could have been taken a few different ways. And what she said was true. She said that, you know, we have our radar is real high. We're almost like we're waiting for someone to say something.
Waiting. You know what I'm saying? Especially I'm down here, you know what I mean? Waiting.
Because she said, Stace, had a black person said that to you, you would have thought nothing of it. And I was like, you know what, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like Pooch, I couldn't have been in that situation. Like,
what you mean? What situation? That Pooch was in?
I ain't getting into that, but
no, what was it? You said
we ain't getting into that, Stacey. I'm not doing that.
I don't know.
First of all, the question was, how can we improve our community? It wasn't about being on alert.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's how I can improve my community. Stop being on such high alert all the time. You know what I mean?
All right, I feel
you ain't got to put your foot in somebody's ass all the time. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just be on the guard and like.
But you do have to be aware though, Nike. I mean, you
gotta be aware.
We have to be aware though, man, because
you gotta be aware, but like you can't be oversensitive though. You know what I'm saying? Like
I agree, but like I said, man, they do say slicks. They do try to get slick, man. You know, they test you.
Yeah.
They test you, and I think.
But they know who to get slick with. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like.
I mean, but
present yourself in a certain way. They ain't about no slick shit because they know what the consequences is.
But I think, all right, guy, what we talking about is like how sometimes, you know, we expect certain things of like different folk, like, you know, white folk. We think that sometimes they saying stuff trying to be slick, and I think they do. I think a lot of times they try to. They say things and it's almost like boiling the frog. First they saying, you're a nice guy. You're not like everybody else. And I think that my position is, as soon as you hear that, you have to be willing at that point to address it, to say that, well, however you need to address it, you have to address it.
Like, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? Like, you know,
what you mean, like?
Huh?
I don't understand your question.
No. So when somebody says, "Oh, he's not like he's not mean like though," or he's a good guy, like, well, why?
My next question is, what do you mean by that?
Right. That's what I was saying. That's what.
What do you mean by that? Because first of all, I don't represent an entire race, and that also implies that a lot of the other ones aren't real cool, and I have a problem with that. So I think that, you know, people, we to a certain extent, I think that we have to have our radar real high, because they'll check you first. They saying that, the next they calling you a dirty nigga. You know what I mean?
I checked somebody a couple years ago, man. Dude told me, he's like, "Oh, you're so well spoken." Like,
yeah, exactly.
What the fuck you thought I was supposed to sound
right.
like?
That's what I'm saying. All right,
excuse me, I didn't mean nothing by it. Yeah, you did.
No, but I don't know. Somebody say that. Do they mean something by it?
If somebody says you're well spoken,
well spoken. Like, how the fuck else am I supposed? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you know.
There's two me's, by the way. Like, there's a business me, there's just regular old me. You know what I mean? So most of the time when I'm in different environments, I'm in, you know, business me. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody tell me, "Oh, you're so well spoken," like that kind of like that kind of irks the shit out of me, because how the fuck else you thought I was supposed to sound? You know what I mean? Like that makes no, you know, that's kind of a side slick way to be offensive.
What you about to say though, guy?
I was just gonna say, you know, it's when I hear those kinds of words come from people, because we hear them all the time, that's an issue for me. So I spot that issue, and I immediately, my radar goes up, and I say to myself that immediately, that is not someone that I'm going to probably engage in an intelligent conversation with, period. That's not somebody that, number one, I think is worth the time that it takes for me to formulate a sentence and get it out. That's not somebody that's worth my opinion. That's not someone who's worth the value of my words. So when someone speaks to me in that way, because listen, I get it all the time. I hear, you know, I don't hear people say it to me all the time, but I see a look of shock on people's faces when I'm in different areas, right? So when you code switch, right, and I'm pretty sure that's what you do, Mike, you code switch a little bit here and there. Like you gotta go in, and when you're in business, you one way, when you're in the streets, you another way. I'm the same way. So most of the people who know me, number one, they don't know me from the criminal justice arena. They don't know me from the system. What they know me from is the block. You know, Strawberry Mansion, drinking a bottle of 2020 Mad Dog, busting it up with my homies.
Wayne would like that. Wayne Hill would like that.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? So,
that's all they know.
So when I hear that from a person, and I've heard things like that. Like I heard somebody say, you know, I think you're classy. And somebody else said, oh, you're sophisticated. And my thing is, no, you're confused. I'm not either of those things. You know, don't accuse me of that. I am who I am, right? I'm this guy from the block that I happen to have the ability to, or an opportunity rather, to take advantage of opportunities that have been presented to me, right? But on the flip, if you talk out of turn,
right, Tony, what was your expectation?
Right, don't think that the conversation ain't going to twist and go in a way that's not in your favor. Number one, because I'm gonna unleash everything that I have on you, every metaphor and simile that I have, everything that I can unleash on you to make you feel minuscule and tiny. But that's not something that I'm interested in doing. So I would much rather than even formulate that sentence to go in on that person. You know what? You're right. Let me go ahead about my business. You're right.
I do the same thing when I'm talking technical jargon to like these dudes that like, because they see me and they think I don't know what I'm talking about. Then when I break it down, all the way down, they looking like, oh. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you see opportunities like that? Do you see those situations as what I call teachable moments? Because I think that folk want to engage us. I think something inside me says that they want to know. They want to have these conversations, but they have to have the right person to have them with. So do you view those as teachable moments? Because when someone says something out the side of their mouth, I never let it, no, I'm gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about it. And I'm gonna explain it to you why what you said was wrong, but it's a teachable moment. So I'm not gonna say I don't have anything to say to you. No, we're gonna discuss it, and then you're gonna learn something from it. You're gonna learn that.
It depends on what they said, Stace.
When people say things out of their mouth to be demeaning to you, to put you down, to fit you in a box that's digestible for them, those are people who I do not believe are worth my time, my energy. Right. I'm not. It's not.
Somebody that try to put you down. What do you mean?
Like somebody if someone says to you, give me an example of what you're talking about.
If someone were to say, okay, you the one we've been talking about, you're well spoken, you will say something to respond to it and then walk away and say, I don't have time to deal with this nonsense?
I wouldn't say anything to it at all. That's a comment that I would smooth right over. You wouldn't even hear me mention it again. It's not worthy of a response. Right. It's not valuable enough for me to respond to. If you have that mindset where you believe that you're in a place and you're in a position where you can tell a person that they're well spoken, and I'm not speaking, if this was coming from one of you guys and you were saying that to me, I would take offense to that, right? But if I was a younger person, 20, 19, 18, and it was coming from a 50, 40-year-old person, and they were saying that to me, I would take that likely as a compliment, right? But coming from somebody who believes they're my contemporary or my equal, that's not something that you're going to say to me. And
okay.
Response.
Oh, Stace, hold on. I just want to say I enjoy all these points, but the question was, what can we do in our communities to make it better? It wasn't, like I say, all these points are valid, but looking at the comments, some of the things that we could have talked about was like, remember growing up how our block captains, right? They organized street cleanings, they organized, block parties, like stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that the question was trying to shape up to be like, what can we individually do in our own neighborhoods? What y'all talking about, I totally agree. Nobody should ever disrespect you, especially of a different skin color. But I think we need to address at least let's address the initial question, and then we can kind of go back to that.
All right, so Pooch, what can you do to improve your neighborhood?
Well, I just talked about, the things that we saw growing up.
You become a block captain? Is that what you said?
Well, I think that's one of the things that's missing throughout the neighborhoods is having somebody probably of older preference who takes the responsibility of working with the parents on the block to make sure that the kids are, involved in street clean. Like every Saturday morning, we used to get up, clean our blocks. The trash would be piled neatly, off to the side. People would come out and paint their curbs in front of their house, paint their addresses and all this. Like that was a weekly occurrence. And it wasn't looked at as anything other than this is how we keep our block clean. I don't know what they're doing down that end, but on this block, we keeping it clean and everybody was involved.
Right.
And I would love to see that kind of thing going again.
All right, guy. What can you do to improve your neighborhood? I mean, your block. What?
And my neighborhood, Stace. So you've been around here a million times. Your family's my next door neighbor. Y'all was my next door neighbors for a long time. So I think in my community, in my neighborhood, something that I can do, and I try to do it as often as I can, and that's to engage the young people, specifically the young men. And I say that because so many times, and I'll give it a little context with a little story, right? I was in a class once, and it almost broke my heart what happened in this classroom, and it was directly impacted to my neighborhood, or it actually made me reflect on my neighborhood. And what was said was, and this was, you guys may be familiar with Michael Cord. He teaches over at Temple University. So my undergrad, like I said, I was criminal justice major, and I was actually in one of his classes. It was a collective resistance. And in this class, we were talking about in our neighborhoods and Black folks and young, like if you saw a group of Black people on the corner, he surveyed the entire class. He asked everybody this question, and everybody had the same answer. If you saw a group of young Black men on the corner, what would you do? And everybody, 99% of the people, and I didn't answer. I didn't raise my hand to answer this question because it broke my heart to hear the answers, because what these people were talking about was me, right? Everybody saying I would walk across the street. I might say hi. And just a lot of different weird things where I was like, damn, you talking about me. Like
me, that's right.
Like y'all talking about me, and like I'm not even saying, like I'm fucking invisible, and then saying the same shit. So what I would do in my community is try to promote and amplify engagement with our young Black men, because young Black men in our communities are the target of just about all the source of oppression in America. So I would want to be more inclusive with young Black men. I want to have conversations around, the holistic approach of dealing with young Black men and everything that comes along with them, not just that surface piece, but I would want to engage young Black people. I would want young Black men. I would want to talk to them. I would want to, feed their souls, pour into them, just be their OG as I am. And I do that as often as I can. But now that you asked the question, what would I do? I would do that in a more meaningful way, in a less passive way, right? And I would do it in a more intentional way, not so much in passing. You see a young boy, I'm not going to cross the street and not say what's up to you. I'm going to walk on that side. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to stop and give you the deuces, and we're going to rap. But I would be more intentional with it in my approach, and I will be more intentional with the information that I discuss with them, and not allow it to be shallow information. It would have to be something in depth. So for me, it would be engagement with the young people.
You know what, fun? Guy, I'm going to piggyback off of that, because I think what I get from that is basically be a part of the community and everything that goes along with that. Because one of the things that my pop used to do, and they used to fuss about it, when cats were standing on the corner, he would walk up there. You're not going to stand here. One of the things that I always say is, because we know what's happening in our neighborhood. We know who's out there hustling. We know what they're doing when they're standing out there. Say something. Now, if you're intimidated and you don't feel comfortable saying, engaging them directly, there's a way to do that behind the scenes. And I'm being honest with you. I'm talking about if it's the same knuckleheads up there all day, scaring the resident, you call the cops. Call the cops, because that's the only way that you're going to send the message that that's not going to happen here, because like I said, and there's a difference between brothers standing on the corner, busting, having a good time, laughing and joking, versus a bunch of niggas up there intimidating everybody.
Differentiate, like you see what you just did. Like
I think the difference is perception.
How do you differentiate like
No,
guys is up there just joking around, hanging out?
no,
Somebody
no.
up there, hustling,
We normally know, and tell me if I'm wrong, we normally know if somebody's up at the corner of our block slinging versus a bunch of cats standing up there having a good time. We normally know the difference though, don't we?
But let me ask you this, riddle me this, Stace, because I gotta respectfully disagree with part of what you said. No, I can't disagree because that's your opinion, that's what you would do.
Right.
But I have to challenge what you say. And the reason I do is because I would never call the cops on I can't think, I've never dialed 911 and I can't think of an instance where I would, right? And especially not on young black men, because I know that when we do that, what the potential for that interaction could be. So
guy. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think the potential for violence when it comes to law enforcement and black people because of the relationship is something that I don't necessarily know if I would put a young black man in that situation. I think the perception of what these young folks are doing is something that kind of frightens a lot of folks, women in particular, older women. But I gotta say, like when we see young people, okay, you might see a young boy on the block slinging. He might be pumping rock, doing whatever. He might be, just doing things that are not necessarily legal right now. Because don't get it fucked up. In 10 years from now, it might be legal to sell crack. You don't know, right? Because of the way our system works. But I say, with regards to that, those a lot of times are crimes of financial need. They're also crimes that are committed by young people, or they're criminalized. But why are they committing those crimes? Why are they doing those things? Where is the support for the young person who's at the top of the block moving coke, right?
But see, that's a misnomer too, because everybody at the top of the block is
no. See, but wait a minute.
Wait, Stace, do you remember that time when we had that song? We got that song out, and we rode up. I think we was at 25th and Jefferson, and then we was out there. We had just came from work, and then the cop.
I remember that.
I remember that. Against the wall and all this, and I refused to get on my knees because I had my work clothes on.
Y'all missed one word that I said though.
What did they do though?
No. Listen, I agree with that, Knight. But the one word that I said is knucklehead. Second thing, I said if you're a part of your community, you can when you see it start, you can approach those kids and Guy, you know that because your nephew was my man. Right. When I took my nephews to go spend the night with me, your nephew was one of them. Right. But I'm talking about, say it again?
My namesake nephew.
Exactly. But what I'm talking about is when we see the block starting to take that turn, if you're a part of it and you're up there, my man, you can't do that here. And you got that one knucklehead because we know, come on, as men, we can point out that one guy and say, he's going down the wrong path. I've done it plenty of times. So that's the one that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about all of them. I'm not talking about the one that, like you said, the one that you can have a conversation. I'm talking about the one that's up there that you know that's causing all kinds of havoc. We have to take a responsibility to sometimes cut that one out. We have to.
Yeah, but no, I think it goes deeper than that.
You got to go up there and speak to him like a man.
I said,
listen,
you got to go up there and be like, look, man, this is where I live right here. You're not going to do this.
What happened when you do that? You're like, fuck out of here.
You have a problem.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Listen to it. It goes a little deeper than that. I understand what you gentlemen are saying, and I appreciate it. I do. I think the issue is not necessarily always that young knucklehead that he'll get flipped in a heartbeat. But the problem is dependency and exploitation. Where do you think a 15-year-old kid with 5 grams of coke got it from? He didn't get it from another 15-year-old kid. He got it from an OG that was supposed to be looking out for him, taking care of him on the block. That's the person that needs to be spoken to. That's the person we need to go to and say, listen, OG, you my age. Why you got this young boy at the top of the block moving coke on my corner?
God, I got a question for you. You buy a house in the neighborhood, you good. Bunch of kids standing on the corner. You be like, yo, man, y'all kind of loud. Let's just say it that way. Y'all start, because that's how I start. Y'all kind of loud because y'all keep it down some. One of them, the other ones, okay, Mr. Guy. And one of them like, nah, fuck out of here, who you think you are, and you walk away, and you know how they do. You walk away, I'll bust a cat. If I see that nigga again, you try that a couple times. do you then, after so many times, do you just let it ride, or do you have to say, I'm gonna have to take it to the next level?
You got to take it to the next level, but the next level cannot involve law enforcement. What the next level is got to involve is something inside of you. It's got to involve, where are you willing to take your fight? I'm not willing to take my fight to law enforcement, but I'm willing to, and don't think I haven't had that issue. I've had people out on my block pull up, dump they blunt guts on the side of the street, play their music loud, be disrespectful, break glass, throw bricks and shit. And listen, if you're not prepared to face that young man one-on-one, whatever it is that he brings, then you should never say a word to him, period. Now, unless you're ready to take it to the end, then you shouldn't start it.
And God, I agree with you, but my thing is that it doesn't normally stop, especially when you talk about, and again, I'm talking about the knuckle, and that's my term for him, the knucklehead.
Let me give you an example. I got a young boy across the street from me, right? He used to live across the street from me. They moved out the beginning of February, right? And this young boy, it was a group of young boys. They used to call me by my first name. I'm damn near 50 years old. These little kids used to call me, hey, guy, yo, what's up, guy? I would tell them every day, listen, young boy, my name to you is not Guy. We're not drinking buddies. Watch your mouth. So I went and I talked to the parents. Listen, sweetheart, your kid is calling me by my first name. I have daughters that are old enough to be their parents. You want to check your kid. And then I was having a discussion with a friend of mine. Her name is Marquis. I think you know Marquis, Stacy, Marquis Odom. I was talking to Marquis one day, and she had noticed in front of my house what these kids was doing. And she says to me, well, Guy, how about you take a different approach? Because my thing at the time was, I got to take this to the point where I might have to crack this young boy head because he's being real disrespectful. He's a teenager, and his parents not checking him. So you know what? She said, Guy, maybe you talk a lot of shit. I see you on social media. I see you help young boys. I see you this and that. But now you got a young boy on your block that's disrespecting you, and you ready to just go ham and just act a fool. So you know what I had to do? I talked to this young boy. I found out what he wanted to do with his life. He said he wanted to become a nurse. You know what I did with that young boy? I plugged him into my daughter, who is now his mentor.
Nice.
You got to be prepared to take it to whatever level. Whether that level is I got to crack you in your mouth, young boy, or whether that level is, all right, young boy, I'm going to try to turn you on a bigger piece of the game so that you can get a piece of the pie. So that's what I'm saying when I say you got to tunnel that.
So, and, you know, I don't mean to be the killjoy here, but we kind of bumping up against this 9:15. We want to get this last topic in.
Nice.
Well, the last topic is your favorite high school memory.
Do you want to hold on that, y'all, or what's up? I mean,
we got
this.
Because what we're doing is like there's no wrong way to handle it. That's your point of view. That's Guy's point of view. Terry got his. I got mine. There's no wrong or right. Like Guy says, it's just a matter of opinion and which way you think is best. But I will say, in harmony with Guy, I don't think getting the police involved, unless it's something physical going on, is the answer. Because
I'm leaving with this then. I'm gonna leave it with this. And I agree with everything that y'all said. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that that's the first step. When I talk about being involved with the community, being involved with my neighborhood, and that's me anyway. I'm one, I see my neighbors. I'm the one blowing the horn. I'm the one speaking. If I gotta help shovel the older persons, I do that. So because that's just me. I'm used to being a part of a tight-knit community. But I will say this: if it comes to the point where I feel like you're threatening the people around here, and the only thing that you're gonna respond to is that it has to get escalated to that level. To your point, Guy, I'm willing to take that step, because if not, it's the old, and I know you're familiar with it. They call it the old broken glass theory. If you let it ride, it's gonna go further. It's gonna go further, and before you know it, you're gonna be living in hell.
My man Jay got a point too, though. He was like, if a young black brother never had a man in his life, like a father that ain't never been there for him, he don't want to hear that from no older dude.
It's true too, but that's why you try to approach them. That's your first thing to get to God. Yeah, I mean, and I always tell my family this: the knucklehead is my homie. I normally get along with the knucklehead, but some of them, especially with that now, if you get them when they're younger, that's one thing. Now you start talking about the knucklehead that's 15 and 16, and now he ready to take you on, and you probably not out ready to get out in the street and knuckle up with him. And he can't, and he's not responding to what you asking him to do.
See, but you back in the day,
to that next level.
Ain't knuckling up no more. You know what I'm saying? They doing that other thing. You know what I'm saying? So when if you do step to them and you talking about stepping to them, knuckling up, that don't quite do it no more. You know.
And first of all, first of all, it's illegal if you hit a child. So if you go knuckle up with a child,
you understand what I'm saying?
No, but you're going to jail. You're going to jail. But on a minor.
My point is that, like you just said, though, Knight, and the first thing I said when we first started this, sometimes when you're being a part of your community, you have to be willing to cut that, because some of them are cancerous. Let's be honest with you. Sometimes you have that kid that you can't reach, the school can't reach, they're not going to go anywhere, and they're determined to do what they. Sometimes you got to cut them out.
Well, sometimes your determination has to be equal to their determination.
And on that, in harmony with that thought, here's a beautiful thought from Patricia Stevens. She says, think, be careful, be aware of tone, be prepared. I'm going to read it again. She says, think, be careful, be aware of tone, be prepared, know the consequences, know when to stop talking, never embarrass. So that's the thing. Like when you talk to these young people and try to have a dialogue with them, you don't have to be all, puffed up and, like, because you're the adult. You got to approach them on a level that they can get what you're asking them to do and see that the importance of why they shouldn't be in front of disrespecting the block.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And but also, here's another thing. It's the same thing when parents parent their kids. You can't just tell a child no. You have to show them and teach them why that no is important.
Correct.
So when you're talking to these young people, like Guy said, he ain't just come at the young boy. He came at the young boy with a solution to what he wanted to do with his life. You got to give these cats solutions to.
Agreed.
Even if it's just short term, give them kind of some type of solution so they can roll with that and be like, I see the value in that, versus just being on the block causing, ruckus just for the heck of it. Because like when we all stood on the corners, you know what I mean? And we all did that, but we knew what we was into. We wasn't into the, the rowdy, like now if it happened, whatever. But like we was just there to chill, laugh, bust jokes and all that, you know what I mean? But we was also respectful.
That's my point.
To our elders.
Right.
So when one of the ladies out, looking out the window was like, can y'all keep it down? We was like, okay, we sorry, we're gonna move down the street with this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and it's not all kids. We're not saying that.
Right.
But in harmony with what Stacey said, the ones that he's talking about, the ones that you just can't get through to. But there's always a way to try. And violence is never the solution, because that's just gonna get more violence.
Right.
You have to, like Guy said, you have to engage them and talk to them and find out what they want to do. Find out why you out here every day on this corner. Like, what else could you be doing with your life that you think can make a difference? And then you plug them in where you can.
Hey, hey, Guy, I got a question for you, and this is a little bit to the topic, but it might be a little bit left of the topic. I had one time wanted to start like a program to go into the prison system somehow, and like start like classes, like computer classes, people that's incarcerated. So when they get out, they have some kind of skill to get it, because most of the jobs now, well, not most, a lot of the jobs now are going like digital. Right. So you got to have a certain amount of skills to get into the, to get into the job market. So like how do you go about doing something like that?
I'm gonna plug you into a group. It's a group out called YASP, Youth Art Self-Empowerment Program. And what they do every week, they go in, well, not since the pandemic, but prior to the pandemic, they got passes, they got IDs where they could go into the prisons and teach art. And they would so it's similar to what you want to go into the prisons and you want to provide a service, right? So what you would do is apply through the prisons. I'm gonna plug you into this group, Youth Art Self-Empowerment Project. Yes, they also host a participatory defense hub, one of two youth-led participatory defense hubs in the city of Philadelphia, and they go into the prisons and do that. I don't have the answer for you on exactly how to get that done.
Right.
I will find out for you. And if you like, I can connect you with these folks, and they can walk you through the process totally.
Okay, cool. That'll work. We'll talk offline then. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So last thing is now 20 after 8. We gonna close it down, or we want to try to. What was the last one?
Your favorite high school memory?
Oh, y'all want to? What's
That
up?
can be real quick. That can be real quick. Ain't got to be no long, drawn out conversation. It can be like real brief.
All right, go ahead, guy. What's your favorite high school memory, man?
Wait, let me go last on this one. Please, let me go last on this one, Stacey.
Directions real quick, go. All right.
There's so damn many. I mean, I can go first if you like, or whatever. It don't matter.
Well, my favorite high school memory, besides the times we used to crack jokes on each other in the lunchroom and all that, I'm gonna be real brief. I remember I was about what's 8th grade? What's that? 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
And there was a young woman. I'll just get the initials. JR. Y'all should be able to put that together, Stacey.
I got it.
All right. This is the first time I thought, I was aware that somebody liked me just for me. You know, growing up, I was never really, popular with the girls because that wasn't my focus. I was always focused on ball and hanging out with my boys.
You play ball? Oh, no, go ahead.
This young woman told me to meet her in the stairwell. I didn't know why, I was and it was in between periods, so you know how we used to go up and down the steps and all that in the mansion. And she just said, I wanted to give you something. I said, what? She just gave me a kiss. And that was the first kiss I ever had. I was 14 years old, and that was my favorite high school memory. Like I said, besides hanging with y'all and doing
traumatized you, huh?
No, it more than anything, it woke me to the fact that somebody thought I was attractive, or somebody
The
thought
dead end was your favorite story. I mean, that was your favorite moment from Strawberry Mansion, was the dead end.
No. I mean, it was just something. It's one of those cute moments. You know what I mean, in life that you learn as a teenager. You're like, oh, man. Wow, somebody.
Like, involved. Now it's a kiss at the
hey man, whatever, man. Y'all stop being chauvinist, man.
All right, what you got, Nike? Hi, guy. We
Hey, he talking about huh? Like he ain't know we were just talking about.
Nike, what's your favorite, Nike? Favorite high school moment?
My favorite high school moment was it was also a female. I might as well just go ahead. You know Tony.
Tony, you giving out names? What?
Well, what?
He's smoking. Oh, he done messed up.
Oh, it's
his shoe come across the room.
All you hear is his wife like, Terry, can I talk to you? He gonna look behind him.
Hey, who the hell?
Who's Tony?
No,
Who's Tony? Go ahead, T. Finish your story real quick.
No, man, but that's
that was it. All right, that's good enough. All right, we can help you out, Nike. All right, go ahead, guy.
Hold on, Stace. No. You gotta go, Stace.
No, go ahead. I'm gonna go at the guy. Go ahead.
All right. I was on a class trip, and I'm not gonna say this person's name. We went on a trip out into the Poconos it was a class trip, the senior high school class trip, and in the swimming pool, we all had hotel rooms or whatever, and the swimming pool was like in the center of the resort or whatever. So anybody if you looked out your balcony, you could see down in the pool. And there was one of my classmates was swimming. And she was doing the backstroke, and her boobs popped out of her.
That was your memory.
She was well endowed. She was very well endowed.
Okay,
she was extremely well endowed, and yeah. So, and I hope me saying this now doesn't, because I know somebody from school is going to see this. And goes, yo, listen,
She's like, that was me.
But yeah, that was one of my most fond memories of high school.
Hold on, well, let me ask you a quick question. Was that the first time you had ever saw something like that?
No.
Okay.
No,
all right.
No.
This was curious.
I seen plenty titties.
Yeah, I think I was like 9 when I saw my first real set of boobs. But yeah, I had seen them before. Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'll say? I mean, it was so many of them because I think and it's funny. I wonder why kids nowadays cut school because we had so much fun. I mean, so I would say just hanging out. The lunchroom, remember Pop used to play his music?
Yeah.
Them 2 speakers, and he would play CDs and tapes. And we would be sitting there busting, and so it was probably.
Remember we used to cut and go to my grandma's crib?
Yeah. Oh, wait till my mom, man. Hey, Night, man, it's mine.
No.
Yeah, I remember that.
Shice and all them. Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah, Shice. Hold on. Shice is watching.
Clean
So
out
Shice
the John with all the alcohol in the house.
All right.
Yeah. We ain't gonna talk about that, bro.
So that was mine. So listen. So first, so we winding down. We winding things down. So God, man, we like to say thanks for joining us. So was God our first guest host?
Yeah, officially.
Okay. Yo, man. Hey, God, man. It was a pleasure having you with us, man. We enjoyed it. You know, you're very opinionated, which is what we need to like. And as we said, as far as your professional background, we're gonna do something on talking about second chances, and we hope that you'll come back and bring some more professional information regarding that, like probably maybe next week or something like that, man, because we definitely want to do something like that. But thanks for joining us, man. You know, we glad you did. It was a pleasure having you with us, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, guy, you did your thing, man. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Much love, guys.
Yeah, you want to say something?
I wanted to just say thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for, allowing me to, just bust it up with you guys with the Real Brothers Live. I appreciate that. And again, like I was telling you before, if I'm ever in a position to amplify your voice just to bolster your participation or anything in the community, let me know. I'm here for you, and I hope you guys are here for me. I know you are. And just thank you for the invitation. Again, thanks for the platform. I really appreciate it, and much love and respect to you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Bruce, what you got?
Man. Well, as always, we try to, give you guys topics that you would enjoy talking about, whether they're lighthearted or serious. Just keep engaging, keep giving us your thoughts. And, I know sometimes we might not always respond in the text or in the chat. That's because it's, really normally on a normal week, it's only 3 of us. So it's kind of hard to engage and also still be able to pay attention to what's being asked of us. But we will do our best to reach out and respond to your comments. And we just want y'all to keep showing us love.
You got night.
Well, all right. Oh, no. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with Real Brothers for the real world. Yeah, we're going to be coming out with some merchandise soon. So y'all stay tuned for that. And we're going to keep this train moving.
All right.
And I appreciate everybody that checks us out, and we're gonna try to keep it moving.
That's right. And I want to echo that what everybody said. Again, I want to thank God. Thank everybody for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this. We're gonna put this up on the website, RealBrosLive.com. We're gonna put it on YouTube. Join what do you
need? States is RealBrosLive.
RealBrosLive.com. We're gonna put it on YouTube. And like I said, we appreciate everybody joining in. Stay tuned for next week, and we really appreciate everybody. Thanks a million.
You'll be able to catch it if you didn't catch it on YouTube and Twitter.
Hold on, and also
and on the website.
Okay, right.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Much love.
Can I just say thanks to a couple of my folks for watching?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Pookie, thanks for showing love. I appreciate you. Cherie, thanks for showing love. I appreciate you. And Poochie, thank you too.
Thank you.
Poochie, Danielle, thank you too. I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, y'all. Everybody have a good one.
All right.
States don't log off though.
Okay.
All right.